We are back again today, just like we promised yesterday, that today we will be bringing to you Nigeria Today. Nigeria Today is a current affairs program of the Living Television, and we are it today. In today's Nigeria Today, we'll be looking at APC Group reveals the only person that can unseat Tinubu as the president of Nigeria. And also, NLC says they have no reason to call off the protest. IPOB has washed their hands off any form of sit-at-home in the southeast. If I am declared president tomorrow, I will get my respectable team available in 1 month, says Peter Obi. And finally, APC-led government pushes Nigeria into deeper poverty and anguish, says PDP. These and many more will be coming your way today. Just as usual, today we have a wonderful analyst in the house who will look at these topics and deal with them majorly. From my far left, I have Honorable Tony Abanyim. Honorable Tony Abanyim is a foremost legislator and a Aba North, and also a media person, a public affairs analyst as well. Honorable, you're welcome to the program.
Thanks so much, Prof. I'm happy to be here. Appreciate you, our viewers.
After him, I have Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi. Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi is a historian, he's a political affairs analyst, he is also a tele-evangelist. He likes dealing with numbers, dates, and figures. Comrade, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me today. Welcome our viewers.
All right, today, the APC Group reveals that the only person that can unseat Tinubu, the no. I want us also to remember the Archbishop Emeritus of Abuja, Cardinal John Onekan, who had earlier said that President Tinubu is not yet the president of Nigeria until the Presidential Petition Tribunal in Abuja said so. Because of that, the support group of the APC now said that in reply to the alleged statement, they said that the only person that can unseat Tinubu as the president of Nigeria is God. Now, comparing the statement of the bishop and also this, do we now assume that the people are afraid or something is about happening that will unseat Tinubu as the president? Let me start with you, Honorable Tony.
No, in this kind of situation, as a politician, you don't play to the dark. You have to face it, head on. The APC support group or the Tinubu support group, they are right in what they're saying, because if it is PDP or my party is there, I will also say the same thing, because trying to believe or toe the line of the bishop means you are now afraid. You understand? So, coming out that way they did is to get your opponents worried. Get your opponents start losing hope by attributing that into God, saying that it is only God, not human. What it means that no man born of a woman can unseat Tinubu. And with the way the man is going, his arrogance, you can see the nationwide broadcast. He didn't look at anybody's face. Very unapologetic. He was talking to us as if we were in a toddler class. We are talking to us as if we are still in the campaign period. Everything is all about promises. I don't know whether the man knows that he is already in government. That what we should be hearing now is that we've done this, we've released 20, 30 buses to each of the states, to the state governors. They will map out plans on how to get it, alleviate the sufferings of transporters and commuters in their states. For increased salaries, I'm sending a bill to the National Assembly to increase the salary of workers by 200%, as the case may be. And I'm also urging the private sector to also improve the welfare of their workers. So we are looking into security to make sure that farmers goes back to the farm, because it is the farmers that feed the nation. The students should not panic. We are not increasing their school fees and all that. We are talking about our refineries now. By God's grace, between now and the next 18 months, the refineries will start working. We are going to release more licenses to, for modular refineries that people will be given licenses to. But there is going to be a very serious competition in the oil sector, in the petroleum sector. So nobody should panic. In the next 6 months or there or less than that, things will get improved. If we get to 6 months and things didn't improve, we'll say, okay, probably one or two factors, the Nigerian factors and factors in Nigeria, may have led to not carrying out what the president promised, but at least we can now fly buses within here and Umaya with less than 500 naira. We can head to with less than 500 naira instead of 1,500 and all that. There will be competition everywhere. That is what expected the man to do. And he was telling us how we should wait till March 2024. You know, and not even applying by God's grace. He was arrogant, even against God. He didn't see anybody. So his supporters are dancing his body language. They've joined him in the dance. You know, they are following his body language. So they are right. But the Archbishop, to the best of my knowledge, is a Nigerian. He's a voter. He mixes up with the people more than the politician mixes up. He sees the people every day. No matter how big you are as a minister, the poorest of the poor will come to meet you. So he sees the poor and the mighty. So he knows what they are feeling, how they are feeling. He has been making inquiries even before the election. He knows exactly where his followers voted. And that's why he said that it is not yet Uhuru for Tinubu and his APC government until the judges at the end of the day tells us whether to stay together or to tear us apart.
All right, comrade, you had how do you look at this statement? Was this man of God to openly come out and say, I don't see Tinubu as the president yet until...
Yes, I want to commend on Tony Abani. He took it from me. In fact, that was a solid analysis of the whole thing. You understand? Even though if I am to talk, I may not have deployed certain languages. Maybe that's because of the political divide where he is. But I want to say something. You see, in Nigeria, we have not been able to convincingly remove politics from religion. One of the narratives that actually propelled the way people voted in the election was what? Muslim ticket or Christian ticket or joint faith tickets, as you may like. Then we have a situation where preceding the election, you see people like Fadam Baka. You will see a Muslim cleric. You understand? Like the one who actually tried to become the armchair diplomat, negotiating between the Nigerian government and the bandits. Gumi, yeah. Sheikh Gumi. You now see Matthew Guka. You now see Onayeka. You see other Muslim clerics too, talking, trying to do what? Switch or even trying to swap or move opinion, including opinion of voters who are their members and who belong to their flock. You understand? So we can't take politics away from religion in Nigeria. As far as 1st October is concerned, October 1, we begin with national prayer said by a chaplain somewhere in Abuja and close with a national prayer said also by an imam somewhere in Abuja. That is how we operate. So religious actors should also be allowed to express their views. That's number one. But then, I am worried about absolutism. That statement was absolute, was reckless, that only God would unseat Tinubu. Tinubu has even committed impeachable offense. The constitution says that Tinubu should submit the list of his ministers before 60 days upon assumption of office. Today, this is either 62 or 63 days. He has only so far given 28 names. When the constitution says he must appoint his ministerial nominees from at least each of the states, we are supposed to have at least 36 ministers. If he wants to be more charitable, to go about spoils sharing, you know what we call the spoils system, to nominate more persons, we can now start thinking of ministers of the federal of the republic for state. So now, so far, Tinubu has not submitted complete list. That's impeachable. Yes, even the House can begin to argue to the merit or otherwise, saying has the president committed impeachable offense. So if at all it is a democracy, Tinubu can be impeached by the lawmakers. He can also be sacked by the court, and that is what you call checks and balances. Every other arm of government can actually exercise a level of control over the other. But it's unfortunate that these ones are not seeing it. In fact, they had actually exhibited one thing, hubris. It was actually evident in what Honorable talked about. No one will kill you except what? Except like Macbeth in Shakespeare. You will not die. You understand? Until the Donald moved to Dunsany. The people which he said that. But we also what actually happened. So I think nobody is home and dry. Even Tinubu himself. You understand? We have a system. You understand? And in this country, we've seen a lot. This democracy we are talking about, this current republic, this fourth republic now, has witnessed many things than other republics before it. One, it has seen civilian transition. It has also seen it has also midwifed a transition from incumbent to opposition, and the heavens did not fall. So if the court decides to sack President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the only thing he has is to appeal at the Supreme Court. And if the Supreme Court should uphold the judgment of the lower court, the appeal court now being the presidential election, the decision council, it means Tinubu is gone. There is nothing there is nothing anybody can do about it. But why they are saying this thing is because in Nigeria, the president wields more power, controls other arms of government. Even when they are co-equal arms of government, we've seen the weakness exhibited by the DSS at the courts. That's impunity.
All right, yeah, we'll get there. Honorable, just in 2 seconds, with this statement by these support groups of this APC, don't you think just like Bode Judge said sometime that the 1999 constitution, this military constitution, until it is out of the way, that the Nigeria cannot proudly say they have a constitution? Do you think that is where they're looking at when they say is only but God? That means there is nothing anybody can do, including the court, to remove Tinubu.
1, 2. You said 2 seconds. Am I ready? It's okay. Let me tell you that the president of Nigeria is the most powerful president in the world.
Exactly.
The office of the president is unlimited. My brother, here on Aba Owore Road is the office of the president, Federal Road. Kotepeni Road is the office of the president. Even the Aba Bridge there, office of the president. The Nigerian police there. The NEPA you are using, EEDC and biometrics, office of the president. The prisons, office of the president.
The military.
You know, everywhere. The force, the entire armed forces, office of the president, everywhere. You know, your own land, because the Land Use Act made it that you don't even own a land. They can even take over where you buried your father. You don't own there. They can even chase you from your ancestral. They can chase you out from your ancestral home and relocate you to wherever they like. Office of the president and the governors. So let me tell you that in our local palace, they say the governors and the president of Nigeria are so powerful because of the porous constitution we have, because of the document imposed on us by the military, because of that so-called constitution prepared, a handover note, that's what I call it, by just 14 persons, over 200 something million, only 14 persons. We don't even know their background, we don't even know whether they came from one village or one family, just concocted
no
something.
Geographical spread.
You can imagine. It is not done anywhere. It is not done even in some climes where the military or the monarchical system, they have a constitution. And everybody must come together, they will agree. I will know the extent I can push you and where you can, take me to before it becomes a lawless thing or lawful. It is done in every, but in Nigeria, we don't have a constitution. That is why the governor, because he enjoys an immunity, can loot the entire state dry, can do whatever thing he wants to do. How can you say a human being that is living, that is acting under the law, that is managing the common patrimony of the entire society, that nobody can investigate him, cannot be arrested, can sue him,
removed,
including the governor, the president and their vice. That's what has made them to be so powerful. You can imagine the president of America, Biden today, the son is facing a trial over tax evasion. Can anybody, even Tinubu's daughter has her own platform. Sheyi the son, that one is number 2 president, or I don't know the mother. Is there anything like office of the first lady in our constitution?
There is not.
But I saw one picture, the governor of Imo State, my home state, my brother the governor. I saw a seal behind the wife the other day They say seal of the office of the governor of Imo State. They say, ah!
Office of the
governor? Seal! And everybody is keeping quiet. Nobody is challenging it. By the time Uzodinma leaves office, because I know that he's going to do a second term. I've not seen anybody that will stop him. Moreover, the other people will have the cash and have the crowd. He will go back. He's my brother. Even though I'm not campaigning. Have I campaigned? No.
You are campaigning.
Okay, I'll pay. But let me say that by the time he leaves, and that person comes later, if Christ retires, it will continue. That is evil. That stays long, it becomes a tradition. So what we are saying is that until we come together and say, this document is not prepared by sane people, because a soldier to me is not normal. A person who is created to kill, is he normal? His training is to kill, waste human beings. Is it normal?
They are our brothers.
They are our brothers to secure us, to kill now. A man who is training to kill,
not to kill us.
If he sees anybody that goes anyhow, he kills, he brings him down. But you as a civilian can only shout, because you don't have a gun, don't have a knife, don't have a stick. The man is the person that now prepared a constitution that will guide civilians, that will guide normal people.
It's not proper.
No.
Okay, away from that, Comrade, NLC says they have no reason to call off these protests. The statement released by the Congress says that the protest must commence today, having exhausted all avenues to make the federal government see reasons with the suffering of the masses. We have no choice but to commence the protest today. And as we speak, by 7:30, it has started in Abuja, and they has also asked the states to join. And then, what's your take on that? The federal government had pleaded.
Yes, before pleading for more time. Yes. Before I go into that, let me succinctly add a little thing to what said. Yes, because there is no matter more crucial to us if we are a democracy than the constitution. It is the ground norm. It is the chief law, or the chiefest of all laws, from which others derive. But unfortunately, that constitution is a creation of decree 24 of 1998, created a constitution. You can imagine. Decree. It means the constitution is, in fact, militarism. The constitution is, in fact, militarism is inescapable for us. It is, in fact, there was not a time when they had what to call constituent assembly, people who will come together to debate, you understand, the clauses and the provisions. Yes, or the constituent assembly. Then you also have what you call the drafting committee. Now see, the draft should come from the drafting committee. Lawyers, experts, people who are civil society groups and all whatnot. They come together to articulate views. The drafting committee will draft. Then you go to constituent assembly. They will go there to debate. Then it becomes a law of the federal government. It did not happen. What they did was they hastily set up a constitution debate committee chaired by late Justice Miki Toby, and then empowered them. They went to the archives and brought out 1979 constitution and inserted few clauses there. It became when after 20 years. That is what we are dealing with today. But that's by the way. So now to the question at hand, you see, it is in their right to protest. I said something here today, and I'm saying it again. Tinubu, and I want him to hear me. He has killed labor. This policy, he just introduced. He has demobilized labor. You cannot talk about productivity without labor being what mobile. For honorable to come here today, he mobilized himself, bought fuel. I also maybe bought fuel. You understand? Or paid the transporter. Labor is, in fact, labor is migratory. Labor moves. Labor is not like other factors of production, like land, which is fixed. Even capital can be actually repeated. Now, what Tinubu did was to remove subsidy without palliative, like Honorable said. The first thing should have been the immediate intervention, not long-term intervention of telling us you are going to build refinery or you are going to build roads, which will take 6 months. Because in the intervening period, before you complete the road, many millions would have slumped into poverty, especially people who live on the daily. So to me, I think what Tinubu did was just to decline labor, productivity, and the value chain, which happens when every man comes out. If I stay at my home, even if I'm to work from home now, even if you are to interview me from home, you understand? There is a value I'm adding to the economy I will no longer add. One, the transporter, the fuel seller, the shoemaker. These are people, daily people. who need to do what? To exchange goods and services and then have money. So it is in place to continue. And I'm sure that they have mobilized all state chapters and regional chapters. But then one thing is this: the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress and their affiliates, they have been so much politicized, corrupt, that the political elements now bully them. If it's not through court injunction, stopping them from the national industrial culture, understand? It is politics. The first time this policy came, this subsidy removal came, they wanted to go on strike, but unfortunately, the Southwest chapter now said a strike was against Tinubu. We also heard that the Northern chapter at a point it did appear as if the Southeast chapter was actually alone. So this is the problem we are having. But unfortunately, all of us, like you always say, we are banned from the same market, and we are all living and facing this hard choice.
No, all right.
Sorry, Honorable, I want you to also look at it from this angle. You know, even this morning, and even as of yesterday, they were also threatened with this court injunction, you know, by the industrial court. But they insisted this morning that the promises and the, just like you rightly pointed out here, that the broadcast of Mr. President has nothing to write home about, considering the welfare of the people. And then with this threat, and then the chairman of NLC had also told the IG to ensure that security. This is a peaceful protest, so it has there is nothing it's going to stop. But the police should do their work. Yet with this threat of the industrial court. So what do you think about that?
Well, I'm surprised that an activist like Tinubu, being a member of NEDEC those days, that stood their ground, and at the time he told us that his house was burnt or boggled by the military. That was why he couldn't.
He got some records.
That was because he was involved in all kinds of activism, demonstration against the military of the government of Apache and all the rest of them. And today, the same man is now threatening, not a soldier, he is a civilian, he's threatening to stop people from coming to complain. Can you beat a child and tell the child not to cry? You've not done nothing. You arrogantly, on your first day, the first minute you took over your administration, the whole country went into mourning. First minute on 29th of May, your first speech was to plunge us into an astronomical economic quagmire, and you are telling us not to complain. Why? A situation where you cannot even feed a family of two. Your two children and your wife can't feed them any longer. I don't know how those that have 5 or more, how they're faring. You are in trouble, you know. But you're just pretending with your white and white. Outfit. That's a problem here. We pretend a lot.
Yes.
You know, you see somebody who is a kidnapper. You see somebody who is a kidnapper and armed robber. You know, you go to church and give tithe. You know, and the pastor knows pastor knows that this guy doesn't have any genuine job. The Yahoo boys, they are told to. So a pastor told me that when he got to South Africa, that the Nigerian boys, all of them, those that are doing drug and into Yahoo, that they came and he was praying for them and they were giving him tithe and seed and all kinds of gifts. And that's Nigerian for you. We pretend a lot. Let me tell you that the man they call Kokori, he's still alive.
Kokori, yes.
Frank Kokori.
The
traded Abacha. The man looked into his eyes and said, "Oga, you will kill us." How much was a liter of fuel? 5 naira. And the Abacha increased it to 11 naira.
11 naira.
And the whole country got grounded by Kokori and Pascal Bafia, all the rest of them.
Pascal Bafia, yes.
You know, and that was the military. The same Tinubu asked how much a liter of fuel by the good of the about 100 or something. He increased it.
Let the protest.
The same Tinubu behind John, the former chairman of the former chairman of APC. John, yes. What do you call him? The man of Latter Day Assembly, Pastor Bakir. All of them came together and shut down Lagos, Abuja, and everywhere. And today they are not talking any longer. I can't hear from them. Where is Social Inca? Is he in coma? Is he sick? They are not talking again. Everybody has kept quiet in a civil society, in a civilian government. And this is very possible we are under a spell. In a military government, people were protesting, talking, demonstrating. And this is a civilian. And nobody wants to talk any longer. I want to tell you that Tinubu should get ready. He should build more prisons. As long as he refuses to do the right thing, as long as he refuses to think before talking.
You see,
that was our problem, because these are things Buhari should have even started. If that subsidy is to end by June, Buhari should have started all these palliatives.
Exactly.
All this given out of buses and the increment of salary, the refineries, security, and all the rest of them. He should have taken care of them, and Tinubu will now come to implement the subsidy stuff. And they couldn't do nothing.
You see, I read the president's text.
Very briefly,
yes,
so that
I have actually analyzed both the video and the text. I'm talking about the clip and the text of the address. It is very bad. Do you know one thing? The president spoke using the pronoun I. He didn't say we. I is not a language of democracy. You can't be talking to us and say, I understand your pen. It's we, it's a government.
Yes.
It's a plural thing.
I agree with you.
It's not only you. In the 41 paragraph piece, the president began with I, and ended with I. Do you know the meaning? This is a one-man decision. By the time he took that decision to make that premature proclamation, as I call it, there was no cabinet. He had not consulted his heads. He had not even formed his economic team. But unfortunately, all of us are living.
Okay, let us look at this as it concerns us here in the Southeast. The IPOB has washed their hands off any form of sit-at-home in the Southeast. The illegal sit-at-home is instituted by Simon Ekpa against the wish of the indigenous people of Biafra. For his selfish interest and ulterior motive, the leader of the IPOB, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, has accused the federal government of sponsoring Simon Ekpa against IPOB to elongate his decision and incarceration in the DSS custody. That's Nnamdi Kanu. Let me start with you.
The earlier they release Nnamdi Kanu, the better for everybody. The IPOB issue, Igbo nation is the tonic of the country. The IPOB issue is it has caused a lot of economic crisis, and it's a nationwide crisis. Those that are coming from Lagos to Aba and Onitsha, it's even a sub-regional issue. Because those Monday, not even about Monday any longer, it's all about all day, all weekday. You understand? It will also, it's a global problem. Investors who intends to come in here and invest will get scared. My brother, money is a coward. It doesn't go anywhere, it is threatened. So if our governors, particularly the new ones, are saying, oh, vote for me, I will attract investors. Alex Swinty told us, the new governor of Abia, that he will bring investors, that there is a huge deposit of limestone in Arochu that is used for manufacturing of cement, that he'll be attracting a cement factory in Arochu. You know what that means in that part of the state? He's talking about bringing other investors. We are talking about the Iyaza, the Aba River, where you have the best of sand that he used for glass and all that. That's the sense of the Aba glass industry. They said that the sand in Aba River is one of the best in the world to use in manufacturing windscreen.
Glass, yes.
You know, so the white man, will he come and put his dollar in a place that is crisis? In a place people are being killed, like farm. Nobody will do that. The security checkpoints where the soldiers and policemen pack sand on our highways and all that. If you are an investor and you watch American films, and on your way to one location or the other, you see those heap of sand packed on the road, what does it signify? War.
Insecurity.
Yes.
Insecurity.
You go very quietly and nocodemously pull back and take your dollar back home. So the issue of Nnamdi Kanu is a global problem. They should remove Simon Ekpa from it. The Ohanese, led by Naibu Emmanuel Iwanyanwu, should very quickly appeal to Tinubu to release Nnamdi.
Okay.
Let's come home and see what we can discuss with him. Simon Ekpa, the Senate the other day was moving a motion. Instead of moving a motion, the National Assembly moving a motion to appeal to Tinubu, the executive, to release this young man. Let's watch him from there. And we are not talking about going to extradite a man who is a Finland citizen. Do you think Finland is Nigeria? Where citizens doesn't have any value. Where the president will tell you, during my election, only 26 persons were killed. In 2015, 800 were killed. So my election was fair and fair. 28 fowls, all one beef. That is a foreign country.
All right, comrade.
Yes.
Looking at this, even before now, the spokesperson to IPOB had announced, condemning this sit at home shortly before the IPA saga now came in. And openly now, the IPOB leader, Mazen Namdekano, through his lawyer, has said this, that there is nothing like IPOB, sit at home as we speak. That the essence of IPOB is for liberation and not to suffer the people the more. And that this thing is cancelled.
Yes, I think.
Well, if I keep issuing orders from Finland.
Yes, I think it's been about 2 years now when the IPOB, about a year now. When the IPOB said, we can only enforce sit-at-home orders on the days Nnamdi Kanu is making court appearance.
Exactly.
It's been up to 1 year now, they said that. And they have also actually come out again to say this. They have actually come out to say, we are not contracting the Southeast economy. We know the implication. You see, if you talk about SMEs, private businesses, micro businesses, if you talk about informal sector, people who are not in the formal sector doing and expanding the economy,
you are speaking too
it
much
is the
grammar.
Southeast.
Yeah, you're speaking so many grammar. Sell and eat. Without selling, you won't eat.
Yes, no, I want to get to something.
That one that brought vegetable and ugu and water leaf to the market. If she doesn't sell it, what does it entail? She will go home hungry with the children.
You see, this is the only place in the country where you don't even have much of the federal presence.
So you should not micro.
What we have here more is more of informal sector.
Yeah.
I'm talking about people who are dealing on perishable, people who are the cobblers, the tailors, the artisans, the barbers, what have you. So if they don't come out daily, their economic activities will be seriously undermined. So what is happening now was actually what we expected. If you get Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the IPB, or who is the figurehead of the whole thing, of the whole struggle, if you get him confined, you will begin to have splinter groups come up and begin to do what called the short. And those ones will also, because in any group like this, there are always the radicals and the moderates. So maybe Nnamdi Kanu was even a moderate. There are people within the ranks who were more radical, and they have seized this. They have seized this this law to begin to do what, to propagate their other ideology. Then there are also criminals too, who have nothing to do with the struggle.
Yeah, they're cashing in on.
Yes, they are not cashing in on this very the intention of Nnamdi Kanu. And I think it is behoving that leaders of the Southeast present a simple point agenda, like he said, a simple agenda before the president. And it's not just enough to say we are meeting in Abuja. You left the Southeast to go and meet in Abuja at the governor's lodge in Imo State. I don't understand. I mean, the National Assembly members, the caucus, the Southeast caucus of National Assembly members, the Ohanese Ndibo, the elite, the traditional rulers, the governors, they should come together and have one strong demand from the president. Give us this young man. The court has said, let him go. So, I'm sorry, I'm taking this long. Malami chose to interpret the court ruling, and unfortunately, Tinubu. Let me say, fortunately, when he was campaigning, Tinubu said he would negotiate with the agitators.
Yes.
He said he vowed to negotiate with the agitators, and he said, you cannot achieve what you want. You understand? Agitating differently. You can only achieve anything when you come together on the table to negotiate. So what is holding Tinubu?
All right, before we go on break, Honorable Tony, do you think the leaders of the Southeast are doing enough to ensure that that young man comes out, considering what both the governor of Abia, the governor of Imo State, and that of Ebonyi, as if they are against this? You know, it was here we discussed about saying he's not part of POB, he's not part of Biafra. I mean,
the former governor.
The former governor of
Ebonyi State. Yes.
Do you think the leadership of the Igbos, or rather the Ohanese, are doing enough to ensure that this young man comes out?
The talk has been very reasonable. Nobody's going out there to do for contract. But what we have here, we don't have leaders. What we have is transactional leaders. Those who will meet. They would like to meet in Abuja to sleep in a good hotel with their girlfriend over a bottle of 2 million naira champagne, and that's the end of it. And at the end of the day, they will call somebody from the villa and start negotiating contracts. They are all contractors. Is it our leader, our senior brother, Naibu Wanyamu? He is the managing director of Hadel and Delix, a road construction company. In fact, he was the man that built Enugu. the Canadian airport. He built it. At the age of 28, he was the engineer that led other engineers to construct, the head engineer that built that thing. So he's the contractor. They're all contractors, you know. So nobody wants to annoy the man at the center to the detriment of your brothers. Just a tenure of 4 years or 8 years, you come back home and meet us. You can see our brother, the former governor of Fade. Today he is back to Umuobekwa, his village, isn't it? Who can no more those crowd of SSS, police, I mean they've all gone home. He has gone back home. You understand? Even though the guy has been a state boy, while the governor, he still comes, sends his people to come to eat the place he was eating before Okachi. He still sends his boys there to come and buy food for him. Not to talk of now, he's no longer governor. He can easily walk on the street and still come back there. That's what we are telling our brothers, the Igbo leaders. Let them emulate from the Arewa people, from the Arewa Congress. Let them emulate the Afenifere. Afenifere, during the election, stood their ground and say, it is Obi. Yes. Even though our brother is contesting from a major political party, to be fair, as old men we are, because evil thrives where old men and wise men refuse to talk.
All right, our wonderful viewers, that's the much we are going to go on a very short break. When we come back, then Nigeria Today continues. Evils prosper because good men do nothing. So what are you doing about what is happening in the country today? We'll be back shortly. Don't go away, keep watching your darling station. Remember, you can always tune to 90.9 Living Radio FM. So if you can't watch us from your HD decoder, if you can't watch us, you can also listen to us from your radio, 90.9 Living Radio FM. We'll be back shortly. Great Nigerians, I'm glad and happy that you are still there, watching your darling station, the Living TV. We are back again. Remember, it is Nigeria Today, and the phone line now is open. You can call on us. You can call on us on 091-682-84994. Take it again, 091-682-84994. Call us, tell us where you're calling us from, and also make your contributions or ask questions based on what we are talking about here. I'm moving forward. Remember, yeah? Okay. Let's take. Hello. Yeah, I can hear you. Living TV, Nigeria Today. Go ahead. Where are you calling us from?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm calling from Aba.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. My name is from Emmanuel. I'm calling from Aba.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. Please, let me appreciate so much about what a wonderful job you are doing.
Thank you.
I have believed that we are Igbos and we believe that we are moving forward. My dear brother, the truth of the matter is that it's not perfect that the majority of leaders we have in South is push takers and window dressing leaders. Because I believe this issue of Nnamdi Kanu to be settled before now is because of the kind of leaders we have here. If all of us are together, no matter the political party you find, and we believe in one person, I believe what is happening today will not happen. Like you said, for us to move forward in this issue of Nnamdi Kanu and the security issue in the South, all our leaders, no matter any political party you find yourself, come together, go and have an appointment with Mr. President, or unless they meet with them, and discuss with Mr. President. I believe, as the third Igbo man I am, that Tinubu will give up the mandate by releasing Nandekano, because if Nandekano released, this issue of attacking people, those criminals use the case of Nandekano to have a set landing of doing those things won't do it anymore. And we know how to attack them if eventually something happens. So that is my only two contribution. Have a better afternoon.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That was a wonderful contribution. You had all that. But moving forward, before we look at what you have said. Oh. Hello, Living TV, Nigeria. Yeah, good morning. Hello. All right, maybe network. All right. Moving forward, you had his contribution. Is still pointing to the leadership of. Yeah. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Good day, please. Your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Ransom King. I'm calling from Cross State.
Cross River, okay.
I heard what you people saying. It's not really good. The way they treated Nnamdi Kanu. You know, even people, they're supposed to join hands together and make sure they remove that young man from that place.
Yeah.
Because it's just very painful. Okay? I don't know why, because I don't know why Nigeria, continue to working. That is only Hausa and the Yoruba. They have cooperation, but even here, because of, I don't know whether not of money or whatever, they don't love themselves again any longer. So I pray to God to touch their heart to release that young man there. Thank you, sir.
God bless you. Thank you. Always keep tuning to Living Television in days like this so that we enjoy your contribution. Thank you and God bless you. That's from Cross River, saying the same thing. Right, let us move on because of our time. If I am declared president tomorrow, I will get my respectable team available in 1 month. That's what P2B says. The Labour Party presidential candidate P2B stated that he will get his respectable economic team ready in 1 month if he is declared the president tomorrow. He revealed that the number of days between first of when the election okay. Hello. Sorry. He revealed that the 1st of March, when the election result was announced, and the 29th of May, when the president was inaugurated, it's close to 90 days. That P2B further stated that he would have dealt with the corruption side of the fuel subsidy before removing it in phase, and not by removing it immediately.
Exactly, yeah.
So let me start with you.
Yes, I think there are some presentations or interventions you make. People will read affiliation to it, but this is just another. You see, in 2015, when he was elected, President Muhammadu Buhari spent 6 months without a cabinet. Nigeria was just tossing us a compassless ship.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead. Your name.
Oh, the network is
Just go ahead. Tell us your name. Okay.
Okay. Now, Buhari for 6 months could not constitute a cabinet. When he was asked, he said he was looking for the best hands. The best hands. After 6 months, we saw who were the best hands. Lai Mohammed, Sadia Omar Farouk, Fashola, and these were the best hands. Now, do you know that
Adamu, who is a journalist and became Minister for Education?
He was there. Nigeria slumped into the recession within this. Okay.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling us from, please.
Okay, my name is Mazi Chigemecha Mbog, reporting from Aba, Holy Land of Blessed Land of Biafra, Land of Residence.
You're welcome, sir.
Mr. Democrat, good afternoon.
Okay, then you are everywhere.
Yeah. I want to respond what Mr. President normally said when he said that he understands our pain. I want to say here, if he understands our pain or feel it, he has to stop it by, for instance, you first subsidy without making a provision of the refinery. If you first of all build our refinery, not how we can refine our produce here in Nigeria here, which means the refinery will get more job opportunity to every youth and make the price of fuel affordable for all the masses. Then secondly, if actually feel our pain, it should obey court order by raising Mazin and the Carlo. I believe that we go a long way to solving some of the problems we are having here. Now we go a long way to solve the issue of sit at home. The sit at home in question, whether anybody like it or not, if Unlandika is not raised, no matter what you do, I don't think if you solve the issue of sit at home, the best thing is to raise Mazin and the Carlo, and that will go a long way to bring peace in this part of the world. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Chigemecha Mbog. God bless you for your contribution. So,
yes. I think the calls are common in torrents and then other.
hello, tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Hello? Hello? Yeah, go ahead.
So like I was saying.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, go ahead. You are there.
Okay. With regard to the issue of Unseat, I believe the fault is from the elders of the governors, the senators, a lot of reps, assembly members. If all should come together and say, we say, let us release the governor of the Kano, he will be released. All of them there are just for self-interest, not for you. Thank you.
God bless you.
So 6 months we wasted without any form of executive over the ministries, plunged Nigeria session. Then
Sorry, hello?
Then there was an amendment to the constitution saying no president can spend 60 days upon assumption of office without inaugurating his cabinet, naming his cabinet members.
Sorry. Hello? Hello? Yeah, you are not here. Go ahead.
So
hello?
Hello?
Yeah, your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm telling you.
Go ahead.
From Yola.
Go ahead. You're calling from Yola.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
I'm not getting what you're saying.
We can hear you. It's a network and the network issue. We can hear you. Go ahead. She called from you. Yes. Hello.
So Tinubu expended a number of constitutionally allowed days. Total only 28 names.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, your name and where you're calling us from, please.
Okay, I am calling from Nasarawa State.
From
Nasarawa State.
Nasarawa State, okay.
Yeah, it's a case of Unseat Kano.
Okay.
Why is it that federal government they are delaying for the TV? That is my own question. What is the problem? What have they done that any other person has not done before? That's my question.
Okay, that's a good question, and that's why these gentlemen are seated here. And that's almost the question everybody is asking, if you are listening to us very well. Thank you for the beautiful question, and thank you for spending your time
In
here.
as much as they say that's the case to when the support, they took him to
Absolved
house,
him.
granted him bail.
The judge and acquitted him. Then Malami decided to do what? To the one, yes, the one he wanted. Then Buhari said he would allow the court to decide him. The court decided against it.
Your name and where you're calling us from?
Hello?
Hello, go ahead.
My name is Luka Sota.
Okay. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Yola State.
Are you calling from Adamawa?
Yes, Adamawa State.
Bring down the volume of your television set so that we can hear you very well. Bring down the volume of your TV set.
I cannot hear you.
Bring down the volume of your TV set so that we can hear you. Yes, bring down the volume of your TV. Bring down the volume of your TV. Alright, go ahead. Go ahead, I can hear you now. You said you are calling from Yola. Please, let's continue with yes. Let's continue with
So Tinubu spent nearly the constitutionally allowed number of days. Only 28 names. And the national cannot get why he didn't come up with these names. And then in his address, that's an also offense. Then because he has created a bad precedent, others will do. I may even become president and I decide to submit only one name to one.
Yeah.
Understand? You understand? It's a bad precedent. Now, he had become president. He made a speech after removing subsidy. He made a speech. He now said there were a few persons. You understand? Holding the nation.
hello, your name and where you're calling us from?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, your name.
Now, Femi Gbadabiamena, the secretary to the government of the federation, and then who the badu, the national security advisor, they both granted an interview where they said there were people, economic conspirators, who are mighty, powerful, that are actually sabotaging the economy through oil theft and the rest of them, and then enjoying the subsidy scam. The question we ought to be asking is there a state within a state? Can there be another commander-in-chief, or can there be another captain in the ship where President Muhammad Buhari is calling the shots? Sorry, President Tinubu is calling the shots. So I think this government lacks sincerity. You see, Tinubu has been tight-lipped in terms of calling corruption each them. Yes, it reflected in the that broadcast. He has never told us what his plans are to fight corruption. He has never said it before. Tinubu has never said it. I want to remind them when Tinubu said, these are my plans. You understand? I'm going to empower EFCC, or I'm going to do this. He's not been talking about that. So what Obi said was actually in order. Any person who is desiring to be the president must know that they are not going to be president alone. It is constitutionally allowed that you have cabinet members. You understand? In fact, Tinubu declared his interest to run about 3 years ago. Since then, and he had been touted by his supporters as the man who has eye for picking the best. And we are still waiting. And I don't want to talk about people who made it or who are on the list. I saw somebody whose record showed that he left secondary school at the age of 9 on that list. I saw somebody like Erofai, who, see, Erofai is my personal opinion, and I can feel it anyway. Erofai is not qualified to be a minister of the Federal Republic. Maybe he can be a minister of a Muslim Republic. Erofai has said something inciting how they dubiously cheated the Christian minorities in the Southern Kaduna region. He had said many things, including threatening election observers that they will return in body bags. That's terrorism. And somebody like that had been okayed by the Senate, told to bow and go. So to me, it's not even screening. You understand? And we've seen people who are on that list, but then it's just continuation of politics by
yeah, because of our time, Honorable, you had it to be said, if he's declared president today, in less than 1 month, he's respectable.
Obi is taking too much. 1 month is too much. Because I know my dad.
But others have taken more than that.
Yeah, no, I am saying that if I had elected a president, with all the time on earth they have, the transition period and all that, my brother should have known. I know my sheep and my sheep knows.
Exactly.
In 2 weeks' time, I will assemble the person that will be, those that will be my whatever, both the SA ministers, I will assemble them. You understand? So, because it's like here in Abia, where we have a governor who has, been contesting. At the time, they called him a serial contestant, a man who will always contest election every election year. Eventually, he won. Has been on the fence, watching everything, watching probably how things is going wrong. He knows where to touch. At the end of the day, he matched. And when you ask questions, they will tell you, give him time. Okay, what time are we giving you again? You already have a lot of money on you. The allocation that came now has never been here before. You understand? Even if there is no money, this is the government. It's a continuous. It's a multinational institution. Mbakwe had no money and built the entire old Imo. Now you have everything. Now you have everything, and they are saying, give me time. Give me time to introduce a new method in refuge management. Give me time to start giving contractors for Moma, Port Harcourt, bring that to Beggar here and then tomorrow. If I am a governor, my brother, it's not a rocket science. To govern is not because, unless you are coming from the moon. If you are part of this place, the constituency I will always tell you about, the constituency of the complainant, you've been here complaining. You see things going wrong in terms of security, in terms of minimum wage, in terms of the economy, and if you seen it, and you say, I am going to get this is right, and you got there, you are buying time. It means you are not fit. So Obi is even giving a lot of time. I am saying that all this whole thing about 60 days and all that, to me, it doesn't make any meaning. Moreover, let me also put in something. The Godswill Akpabio-led Senate is a mere extension of the executive. You don't because Tinubu got all he wanted. Exactly. He threatened to do all, and he got that. He said it was his turn. He got it. He said nobody can stop him. Threatened even the state president, the CBN governor. You see where he is today. This is the same man who is a beneficiary of the judiciary. He is enjoying the same privilege former governor of Rivers State, Peter Odele, is enjoying. Nobody took him to a community, a state as big as Lagos. You govern it and don't have any skeleton in your company. Is it possible? No. And this same man is today disobeying the judiciary. And he has also wrapped the judiciary to get an injunction, and the judiciary themselves couldn't even see it as a betrayal, couldn't even see it as an insult. You disobey our orders, but you now have us to get an injunction to stop labor from performing a civil function, something that is, legal, something that is constitutional. You can see that we are confused, kind of. Right, we are not ready.
We are trying to be a little fast. Comrade APC-led government pushes Nigeria into a deeper poverty and anguish. That's what PDP says.
Yes, but there are no doubts about that. I'll begin from Bulgaria. There was an arithmetic we did here. A subtraction. I sent to you, even calculated whether it was correct. Okay. I'll tell you what that was for. Because it happened backstage. You see, Tinubu, when he was campaigning, when he was asked a question, I think in London or somewhere, I said, what will you do in your first day of office? Say, I will hit the ground running. What will you do? I said, I will hit the ground running. Second day, I will continue running. I will run. Now, Tinubu is telling Nigerians to give him more 12 months. Do you know what that means? The vice president went abroad, assembled the Nigerian community in Russia, and began to talk, to tell them to give them more 12 months. Do you know the meaning? That even if the court should hold that Tinubu is now the winner, we are going to remain in the wilderness for 1 year, a quarter of his term. A quarter of his term is what he's taking to fix the country. It took him nothing to remove subsidy. Now he's taking him the entire nation to fix post-subsidy remove error. Now listen, he had even awarded 110 billion to members of National Assembly, 40 billion for vehicle purchase and 70 billion.
And these are the people
we are talking about 469 members alone, 360 from the House of Reps, 109 from the Senate, and these are the ones you expect to impeach him. Now you didn't ask the question, what will happen to poverty? I will explain something to you. By 2015, when Buhari became president, 76 million Nigerians were said to be poor. It took him 6 months to constitute his cabinet, like I said before. During which time nobody supervised any ministry anywhere. There was no policy anywhere. Nigeria became a compassless ship. It slumped into recession. Poverty increased. By 2018, I'm talking about APC government now. By 2018, the Brookings institution has now 88 million poor persons. Subtract 76 million from 88, you have 12 million. It means in 3 years, Buhari created 12 million poor Nigerians again. He later came back now, the president, and said he was going to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty. He introduced SIP, social investment programs. He introduced conditional cash transfer, CCT, trader money, farmer money, market money, all the money you have. He now introduced school feeding program. That had no Nigerian making. Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs came up with a social register that 50 funds to. At the end of the day, they ended up sharing this money amongst them. We heard that at the particular level was being invested, not by that ministry. At the end of the day, the whole money went to their allies. By 2022, National Bureau of Statistics, a local bureau now, said 133 million Nigerians are now poor. Subtract 133, subtract 76 initial poor people in 2015. From 133, you have 57 million. It means that after 8 years, Buhari created 57 million Nigerians who were poor. Almost over half the number he had promised to lift out of poverty. Who's making it? It's simply the APC. And now Tinubu has sustained that legacy. He has continued, both in terms of court disobedience and also by what? By high choices he's making in the area of subsidy removal without palliatives. You have removed subsidy for the past 2 months now. You've not been able to. The first policy announcement proclamation was to say subsidy is gone. But so what the PDP is saying is true that APC is an anti-poor government.
All right, Honorable.
Do you want to say that? It is there, glaringly, everybody is, the rich is crying and the poor has been living in crying. So, the people is not to tell us, unless they are in the international community. It was here, my brother, I said it here, those that have large families, I sympathize with them, particularly those of them that are civil servants, who are paid checks. The woman was telling me yesterday that she's a civil servant of the local government. The husband also in the same ministry, and they've not been paid for 3 months. You feel the fact, and she has 3 kids doing that in the university. So is that not suicide? Is that not, you've killed them? You've thrown that family into a very serious economic quagmire, money. So we are really in trouble. We have a senseless government. We have leadership that doesn't empathize with us. I don't even blame them. Tinubu purchased that position. We all know that. When he was treading left, right, and center, when somebody says, this is my turn, he wants to purchase it. We didn't vote him. No doubt about it.
If he said you don't, it's not self-alaka. You grab it, you snatch it,
you
run with it.
So we are really in trouble. And most times I complain and people say, are you still one of us? Are you still a Christian? When they call for praying and fasting in my church, I worship to redeem Christian people. And I don't join. The brother there will be looking at me as, this guy, is he still part of us? I say that God is too busy somewhere and cannot answer some of these things. What you pray God to do in Nigeria is what human beings do for each other. So because the Bible tells us that God said a laborer is worthy of his wages. So if you work for 1 month, you don't need to pray for your salary. It should come like that.
Yeah, gentlemen, because of our time, let us finally, before we go today, we are waiting to see what happens to Asari Dokubo, who has an army and brandishes sophisticated guns. Ugezu said that, film director, filmmaker said this. Now the popular Nollywood actor and movie director Ugezu, Jidofa Ugezu, has revealed that Nigerian society is waiting to see what happens to Asari Dokubo, who has been brandishing AK-47. He made this statement while reacting to Emefiele charges to court for illegal possession of firearms. Ugezu said people who are running this government has deemed it appropriate to charge Emefiele to court or for illegal possession of firearms. That nobody had ever seen him with such gun in the public. And what about a man who has brandishing AK-47 publicly?
You see,
what happens to him?
You see, Honorable just said something in his last intervention. This is a lawless society. I'm sorry to say it, but it's what it's become. Even the weapon said to be in possession of the suspended CBN governor are allowed to be owned. We are talking about Dengon and pump action. These things are within the Firearm Act. You are allowed to own, but then it must be licensed. What they were looking, mind you, the initial charge was that he was sponsoring terror. Maybe they couldn't substantiate that claim. They now fell back to firearms. You understand? Yes. And the question should have been, why did the DSS hold Emefiele for 6 weeks without charging him to court? In the first place, they even denied that he was not in their custody. But that's by the way. Now, we have seen Asari Dokubo exhibit weapons, war caliber weapons that no citizen of this country is by law allowed to own. I'm not talking about AK-47. That is mad. I'm talking about RPG. As a rocket. When he was leading his group to a particular function, they carried RPGs. Are we fighting war? And he will even exhibit it and threaten a particular race, in this case the Igbo, saying he will kill them like slaves. Nobody called him to order. He even boasted of having his boy stationed in the southeast. He even claimed that he was also so Asari Dokubo is now a non-state actor, that military in fact he is now a war merchant. A mercenary, maybe a Wagner group in Nigeria, that he even contributed to bringing back peace in Abuja Kaduna axis. Why would this kind of person talk this kind of? And then the president hosted him. Now ask yourself, who is in detention, has he ever exhibited such caliber of weapons?
No.
And now this is Asari Dokubo who accepted amnesty on the condition of what? Surrendering or laying down his arms. It still means we have a state within a state. Asari Dokubo should not be free by now. If we are a truly a democracy. But then it's unfortunate.
All right, Honorable, before we leave, what's your take on this?
Asari Dokubo is the big man's boy. You know, the super tanker, the number one citizen. You know, you can see the MC Olumo in Lagos threatens and does all kinds of things. And nothing happens to him. That goes a long way to show that somebody, Bob Marley, in one of his songs, say that you don't expect justice in a society where criminals and ungodly people are lawmakers. That is Bob Marley. And you can see those things playing out in Nigeria today. You know, our lawmakers, they don't owe us anything. They are not accountable to us because they will say they purchased their positions. On the election day, we are busy collecting. I saw people sharing money. They are now in court. All of them, even those that even stand for the top, are in court, dragging those that want to court, and you can know what that means. It means man negotiate, and you give some money, and you now purchase your judgment. Even if you want free and fair, you still purchase that judgment. I want to go there. The judiciary, they've killed us. They've killed this country. And what do you expect? And tomorrow somebody will assemble a prayer session for Nigeria. It will not work. God has left for Rwanda. Go there and see what's going on there. A country that fought civil war just 3 years ago. And they've grown past it, they've moved on. They are developing, rapidly. Kigali is the cleanest city in North Africa. Rwanda is producing today Android phone. Yeah. What do we produce here? You can imagine. So I want to tell you that when I don't join in those prayers, they say, oh, we are worried. Are you still with us? I say, you are doing the wrong thing. You are praying for God to bring light. God finished with what he is doing within that city and left for others. He said in the Bible, let there be light. And there was light. He provided it through the dam, through the air, through the sun. And Nigerians are still today praying, trying to bring God back to Eden. It cannot work. So we are just in trouble in this country. I would say, go to every immigration office in this country. You will see a marketplace there. Everyone wants to run away. No one wants to stay. You can see the number of medical doctors that are running away from here. And our lawmakers are trying to make a law, trying to tell you that your mother paid through her nose. So women went for how long? To get money to train their children to become medical doctors. And after doing that, you come and tell me how and where to practice. And all of them are rushing, just mere headache. They rush to London and UK. And America.
Toothache.
You can imagine where all the hospitals here within this region, they've all died. What we have here is mortuaries in the so-called name of private hospitals. You go there, the man that takes care of the eye will not be a gyno, a pediatrics. He will look at the head, he will look at the one doctor.
He will be a surgeon too.
Yes.
I will be a surgeon.
Are we not the health? Does something happen anywhere in the world? What is going on here? Does it happen anywhere in the world? All right, go back to the constitution issue and bring in the Chinese condition. If you commit offense, you die. Nothing will change it.
All right, our wonderful viewers, it has been a wonderful day, and I know if we continue, it is very, very provocative what is happening in this country. But there is one thing we must know before we go. Life is not computed by its duration, but by its duration. It doesn't really matter how long you live on earth here, but what you're able to leave in the footprint of life as legacy, that is what matters so much. Jesus Christ lived for 33 years until today. We'll keep hearing about him and so on. Look at what this is Gaddafi, and know how he was killed and so on. But look at the legacy he left behind. And then you ask yourself, what is your contribution? As a governor, you've led for 8 years and no more. What are you remembered for? The president that left, what are you remembered for? What can you be remembered for? Even those of you who are sitting there, what can you be remembered for? As you ponder over this, I go back to my analyst, comrade. What is your final take us before we leave?
Okay, my final take is simple. I will urge the federal government to obey the court's order. This time, a court of the land, appeal court, has said releasing them the Ghana. We don't even want to talk about how they got him, which they themselves are even supposed to answer questions, because that's a violation of international law. You understand? Forceful rendition. Now the court has said release him unless you have interest or stake in the insecurity and the economic contraction happening in the southeast.
All right.
Then that's it again. I think Tinubu should look inward, be more pro-poor in articulating his policies. Thank you.
Yeah, Honorable.
Well, I don't have anything to say, because talking to our leaders is like a pastor preaching to a deaf man. Deaf and dumb in the church. He has nothing. So we say that all we said here, if implemented, why should we complain? No way. And I'm just dropping this for the state government and the federal legislators here, that if there is a fire incident here today in this complex or anywhere in Aba, the fire service in Aba cannot move an inch. They have nothing there. The state government should do something and get that very department equipped. If not, there's going to be a disaster. We're heading into the last quarter of the year, the time of fire outbreaks and all that, dry season period. They have to do something fast to rescue the Aba fire service. A town as big as Aba don't have one workable fire service vehicle. It's a shame. The international community, the multinationals here in Aba, they should collaborate with the state government and provide at least one. Very important.
All right, our wonderful viewers, I'm sure you've heard that. Evils prosper because good men do nothing. And you've heard all that was said. And remember, this is our state. We're not going to run away from here. Nigeria is our country. We're not going to run away from it. What do? Leaders lead well, govern well, and the legislators do it properly, do it better, so that Nigeria will be a better place for us, Abia will be a better place for us. What Honorable Tony Abanyim just said is important. The government, the state government, the multinational companies in Aba, it is important that you look at the fire service in Aba, the only one we have in Aba. He said there is nothing there. If anything happens, it's going to be disastrous. So having said this, from my far left is Tony Abanyim. Honorable Tony Abanyim, we're happy to have you here today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I'll continue to, render service to our people by word of saying the right thing.
And Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi, we are pleased having you.
This is always delightful and my pleasure to be here. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, moderator.
All right, this is your in command, Chinedum Adiele. Keep headed with us on Friday. Issues of the moment will be coming your way again. Keep watching other programs of the Living TV. Always remember, if you can watch us on tele, tune Living Radio 90.9 FM, the voice of truth. You will always hear us if you can watch us through your decoder. Bye for now.
Admission is ongoing at Living TV Film Academy, Aba, Abia State, for candidates wishing to study filmmaking and mass communication for skill certificate training and degree programs, including mandatory NYSC post-degree service. Courses offered are Department of Journalism and